Hey, it's Allie with Seattle Coffee Gear, and today we're talking about the AeroPress Go. So this is the newest edition of the AeroPress, and if you thought that one was travel friendly, this one even more so. So it comes all together in this little package of sorts. You have a lid that removes pretty easily, and doubles as a stand to hold it and let it drip as well. This is actually one of my favorite additions that they've added in, because this was like my biggest complaint or problem when using my AeroPress to camp traditionally. I had nowhere to put my filters, and so now they've given you a filter holder, just enough to squeeze a few in there for while you're away. So super convenient, and it just packs right into your little case there. Out comes your AeroPress, much similar, much like the traditional. It is a little bit smaller. If you notice, it stops at 3 instead of the 4 cups. So it is going to be a little bit smaller than the traditional one. Just set that down for a second. And you do get the stir, but in a different style. This one actually collapses, so it's got a little edge there. And then a coffee scoop. So you can use this as a cup as well, which I actually really love. Because one of the big complaints about the AeroPress that I think I got most often was that it's hard to find a cup to balance it on, and people were like afraid of, knocking it over or something like I almost just did. So this one, it actually fits right on there. It's exactly made for it. So it's going to fit perfectly for when you're pressing down. You don't have to worry about it going anywhere or doing any of that. You can also double the lid, when you're walking around so nothing gets in it. I used it that way, or I also used it when I was done, to hold my coffee. Multiple uses. You do get a pack of filters in the box like they always do, 350, so that should last you for a good bit. But yeah, everything you know and love about the AeroPress. There's tons of recipes for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I would brew my AeroPress. Use my cup here. And I've actually got my multi-brewer, Varia, with me today. I'm using as a kettle, and my filter grinder that I'm using to grind my coffee. Quill's coffee we're featuring today. It's a Columbia. This one is really good with more intense flavors. I like the toffee nut that comes out, and it also has a orange note, so a little bit of a citrus, a blood orange note, a little bit of citrus there. All right, I'm gonna grind some coffee. And then for this one, I use about 15 grams. So actually, let me get this all set up here. AeroPress, if you've never seen it before, it does come apart. You have your little plastic mechanism here that's actually going to hold your paper filter in place. Just go ahead and get one of these out. Close it back up. So that just sits directly in there. And then we're going to pull these apart and just attach it. And then you can rinse the filter and warm up your cup if you like by just adding a little bit of hot water. There we go. And then it won't drip through all the way super fast, but that got everything I wanted out of it. My cup is warm, my filter is rinsed. Now I'm going to weigh out some coffee. You could also scoop it if you were camping, didn't have a scale around, but since I do have a scale, I'm just going to go ahead and use that. Get this out of there so I pour it the right way. And I'm actually just going to do 12 grams of coffee here. Sorry, 15 grams of coffee. What am I doing? There we go. Put that back. And then I level it out. There are a whole bunch of recipes here, like I've mentioned before. So if you don't like my recipe, try someone else's. They literally have competitions to see who can do this better. And I have never won one, but my AeroPress gets me by just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and add my water. I'm just trying to cover the grounds at this point. Just a little bit here, sorry, and I was also going to start my timer. There we go. So I'm going to let it breathe for just a few seconds here, do my bloom, keep my water hot, And then the grind for this that I use is going to be more towards the fine size. I usually go a little bit finer than what you would do for like a pour over. Me personally, I want my AeroPress to be a little bit stronger, a little bit more in my face. All right, so it's done. It's bloomed there. I'm going to go ahead and start pouring more. I just like to give it a spin so I don't have to worry as much. Fill to that top line. And then use my handy dandy stirrer. And this is always the tricky part for me, is I try to create a seal so it doesn't leak and we can keep it brewing together for as long as possible. So I always try to stick it in there sideways and then pull up to create a vacuum so it holds the coffee together. Not always successful, but most of the time it does a pretty good job. So the AeroPress Go can make about 6 ounces total. You can also dilute it if you like to make the stronger ones and then just add some hot water in. That is definitely an option. And then about at 1.5 minutes brew time, what I do is I open it up again, give it one more stir, and this is when I begin my press. Slow and steady. I try not to go too fast. You don't have to press super hard either. I'm definitely not pressing super hard. It's just like a habit, I think, to put my arm like that. And I try to just keep it controlled. You should hear the air. Yeah, so air when it's finished. And set it right there to drip. And voila, AeroPress coffee in my mug, ready to go. Could use the cap if I was going to take it elsewhere. Lovely. It's wonderful. Super hot. I'm actually going to turn that off. Yeah, so I love it. The AeroPress has always been a classic method. Really popular for how easy and quick it is to brew. Doesn't take a lot of effort to go into it to make a really good cup. The AeroPress Go, I think, has given you a lot of options that I thought were lacking in the previous model. So it's a great option for camping. It actually only weighs right under a pound, I think. So if you're backpacking or something like that, this is another good one. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, and we'll see you next time.